Oh, I didn't know it makes
I'll pause it, sorry.
No. Play it. Hey, this week's episode of TLPS is sponsored by High End 7. The video is not glitching, I'm glitching. On the last day of Moshe's life, Moses's life in a physical body, he's talking to us and giving us his final last words. In particular, he was reminding us of the covenant that we have with Hashem and telling us about this contractual and essential relationship that each of us has with God. And on some level, Nitzavim, meaning standing, referring to God's side of the deal, so to speak. God who is standing, so to speak, because God is unchanging. God is stationary. Of course, we can't really limit God to any of these words. But God is God. So God just is. But we are people and we go through a bunch of things. And we're supposed to go through a bunch of things. And we're supposed to grow in life. So we are more on the ones being spoken about, which is this idea of going and moving. But anyways, it's actually not at all what I had in mind to say right now when I pulled out this camera and promised myself that I would make this quick. So let me make it quick. God tells Moses that eventually, when we are not going to follow the Torah, we are going to land ourselves in some troubling times. And when these troubles befall us, we're going to say, oh, it's because God is not among us. And literally the words of the Pasuk, I'll read them to you. I have a Chumash right here. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to read it. But we say, is it not because Hashem is not among us that all of these troubles have befallen us? Something along those lines. You're, of course, more than welcome and, in fact, encouraged to learn it yourself. And in the Hasidic dimension, the Baal Shem Tov tells us that sometimes, or I would say oftentimes, because we are blind to our own faults, we don't fix them. And when it comes time to fix our own faults, and if we have never acknowledged the fault, you know what Hashem does? Hashem shows us that issue in someone else. So we'll notice someone else has a serious problem when, like, that guy, that person, you know? Hopefully we're smart enough not to talk about that, to say Lashon Hara, but we think in our mind, like, wow, that guy has a serious issue. But really, the reason we're noticing that is because we have the issue. And that's what this pasuk is saying in the Hasidic dimension. What were the words? Is it not because Hashem is not among us that all these evils have befallen us? It's because we are not spiritually sensitive enough to God. It's because we are not in touch with our own faults and our own issues that Hashem forced us to see it in someone else. And you know what? It's because of a lack of godliness, of being in touch with the godliness in us, that we can possibly even find evil in someone else. So, here's what we need to do. First of all, we need to know this, so that if we see a problem in someone else, we should really examine in ourselves what's going on. And we really, hopefully, shouldn't see issues with someone else, because we should be working on ourselves, and especially we should be working on the love that we have for our fellow. We need to love Rosh Hashanah. We can't just say, oh, we want you to be king. We need to be together. We need to be a nation. A king needs a nation. So we must be united. We must love one another. And this should start with us, the Jewish people. We must have love for one another. A tremendous amount is not even a good word. It shouldn't be an amount. It's just an intrinsic love. We are really one. And we must tap into this. Live with more joy and more love, and study more Torah, and do another mitzvah with more passion. And may we not just have to think about, but see how one we really are with the revelation of Mashiach. May it be now, and don't forget to demand this of Hashem, that we want Mashiach now.